somuyo odo diento odo tuntada medo rena somuye
Midi mokumeni na mawone Medo yose Shema somuyo Odo diento Odo tuntada Medo shema somuye
Mido yase ene de mi shewubo awarie pan ware ye fodo ni nyamisro odo die yento odo tunjada mido shena suye
Mido yase
ohima
ene de mi shewubo awarie pan ware ye fodo ni nyamisro odo die yento odo tunjada Medo shena suye
Medo amuto premo Medo amuse premo Medo amodi premo Medo yage premo Odo de yento Odo tunjada Medo shena suye Medo amuto premo Medo amuse premo Medo amodi premo Medo yage premo Odo de yento Odo tunjada
Yo, abusafo, me mamwachi. Aha. Anase adwo. Ebra wote menka wo mu. Ene bia wote menka firi bia. Na masan so ama wakwaba. Ba odon komo dwumadie yi so awo Obra TV so. Eye nyame adom se nne yetumi ehia. Mosomfo kwadwasi amen. Aboduba nti mesrew frɛ wo nua na frɛ wo yonko ɔno so mfrɛ ne nua na ɔmfrɛ ne yonko yenhyia na yɛmmɔ ɔdɔ nkɔmɔ yɛhyia wɔdɔ nkɔmɔ mu a awade mu nkɔmɔ ne yɛbɔ aposiesie a yɛde kɔ awade mu ɛne nkɔmɔ a ɛbɛma yɛsetena nso so ayɛ homka ɛwɔ nyamesum mu ɛno nso so yɛbɔ ho nkɔmɔ ɛno nti yɛsi nkonwan mesre nyame se oma ya hode na me di kan bio na masrew paa se na kakra ni a yegya tomo mo de be kyeye na berebia mo abom paye amaye san se niema bebri na ya na esanka ye wo ya pomode ne ho wo mfidie nsem ho wo dwumadi ahodo a yedi a ya na atwen ye de komia ahodo nti ena ema no ba ne san so minim se nyame dom mu mate ase nti mo de be kyeye abusuafo a asi nkonwa ne yewo yen abrantie ka kire Dennis Kofo
Sofo
na adesai
nyame adom na so isi ayache
adom anti bese na kakra ni ayentimi nhia ye no ya na ho ye osai
oh ya na ma fe odon komo pa
eda nyame asese ne wode ye hia me de me da na me soso da ye sa ase odon komo na so o ma hia ase agya me na ase de abrom so yo ni a odi ho eye enu ababawa mami amase we champo mami net say
yes okay nyame atime good morning abijafo
good morning what did you anumzio de
nka che manu nsie ye
anumzio did ya ma musa no ono mehu so wonum nsuo nti na ma musa no ko mehu dada nti ono ne de ano de eye ye de nyame asese wa ma ya kwanya na ye de ahia enne osofo kwati ontumi ne ye enhia dwumadie foforo asan atwene se de make ya osofo Professor Daniel Mini Akwadwo ono so ntimi ne ye enhia dwumadie ahodo no asa mema nua ba the brightness enche obeyi ne ti se oyi ne ti a mubehunu no na emprempren de ye besi interest na Dennis abom paya maye na afi yatoaso
yo empire yeda wase na no pay so ayo pay na odi abehie mu se ye metwetwe odon komo edwumedie so yesɛ sɛ wankasa bɛka yɛn ho ma hom konkron no emeka yɛn ho until yɛkasa ho na yɛtiefo nyinaa ɛhyɛ wo nsa ɛna dwumedie yɛgya yɛn nyinaa yɛn ho ahyɛ wo nsa sɛ ma ne nsɔ wɔ Kristo ani ɛwɔ wo din nti amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Abusuafo nyame dom de yɛahyia na yɛbie fidie ne tumu a de menya hu ya pre mama comfort gambra ho ɔse amen. Ontimi ntwan kura na wasan de amen atoa so bi kyerɛ sɛ wonu sɛ mama comfort wafe yɛn ankasa sɛnea yɛn so yafe wɔnom no afe obi bɛka sɛ minipa Amina. Say good morning, distinguished panelists. Abusuafo a mode ahofahia nyame ema mo akwa aba se ne wo ka no na afei se de etie no ese de ye ntokwa na sinti se hu se de me special greetings so amame Amina yeso so yeje so nyame enhyira ipa cho ye hia enti wo wachire hɔ a ma yente wonka na ye bema wo akwa aba ye di nkomo ana yedi nkomo na enne nia efiri be se na watwe me ense atwam nyina ye pese yedi ho nkomo a na bibia betwam potokasem was sexual harassment because we harass obi sexually and say me de ko twi kasa matare bi atwi kasa no ni nkyire mu ya na edene so obenya semba ko de agina ho ma asemba ko bi wo brofo tomre bi a wo de ma menka we obehu se twi kasa tare bi a edene papa asemba ko papa etimi gina ho ma 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 papa nti o kan ya just a contest no na ba mu ahunu ne egina ho ema eno bi na tere bi ya na atoye sexual harassment metimi a kire mu se obema ne oba enna ho atetiye anase ahahaye ensam tere bi a enye nhyiamudie no ankasa na emum ensam bi a ye kan niema hodo abadwafo ebeboa ye ama yehunu yebedane ye ho na yaba yeba yebedi nko yo usiafo yesan emamu akwa babio nyame dumu sign de yabeshia de ne ye ka ho asem brofo kasa se sexual harassment na me boss ana the brightness no sister yama wakwaba
yeah
but na busiafo ho te say
ye ho adum bia ho ye pa na munna muso mo ho ye de
aja dom ye ho ye minim se na wotete kire ho man ene de menka obi a ho asem
sure
ye be di ho common ne no ene sexual harassment nti ye kwaya sem bisa edi kan no so na esa se kontekro bi abedam nne a wona ne be ma waka wona me be yi nsem ho no ene ye nka kire Dennis and Dennis me busa say ye ka sexual harassment kra ene de because what is sexual harassment?
Yo, elder me that say. Me won say what try say ka wo dey call ye kasa mu ama ye na ya try say na ka ye easy. Na baby I dey fire dey be nim sister way obeboy.
Wo dey ka obrop no obi abeti ase ho.
Me nim say me no ebe ya adwen a. Enti ye try na hwe say o kan elder me no ya adwen because the twi kasa no o dane brofo abemu a etore bia na eden pa me say o de papa eyi example am ye hu so sexual harassment said ye nintia se ni mu a conduct bia me meninje ho and that's a wo winning home sexually, right? A unwelcome conduct. It's ebia senka yenya twi word for conduct. Ana yehu ye de ade a mani gye ho e ka ho a ya church sexual harassment mu ano. So na make sure no. Enti say the be ya emu beda ho na yen discussion no entimi akomu no. Me hu say eye suban bi conduct bi eniyema bi eniye bi a me akwasi mani gye ho. Wo kofi wani gye ho ana wo maame wani gye ho so nipa aye na adwin say enoa na opese or de tete wo, then that becomes a sexual harassment. So wani gye ho dia enye sexual harassment wo harass you because wani gye ho enti all ye wo no wani gye ho wo sere. I know say you haven't asked that question enti egumu ahodo bebre ye bedro. But to answer the question no, sexual harassment here conduct me meninje ho me welcome us our conduct no sa ne ye no sa suban na o da na di wo menchen no men ka se meninje ho but de bia no wo ye. Remember one example na be say bia ye cheche mu no ye be ba be mo ma entiasiaba and say many obi edi agro na de bia many to no ma okay can enkwasasem edwabansem so they can't edwabansem no I can't just say I'm a family or you mean you are bent I'm for example now I mean I can't say any man say oh mommy many just are in common now mommy go so can Mr. Mommy many just are me at that moment no mommy harass me because sadly yena all your maming channel many ho ana maka che ne say many ho back home maka che ne say many ho mienu maka che ne say many ho biensa ana ensem na ewo mu a okeka no ye profane kakra so inti emame nya comfortable ewo ne nchen inti eno na ejina oma sexual harassment egumu ahodo bebre na menim say ye koye enimi abedwafo ebe baby mu ama entiasia ya adwuma me that's it.
All right, Dennis, yes, that's it. The conduct, you see, ni tree. Wa was I no conduct. Yes, by or the coaching one. Yes, by na mami muso. And someone nipa krono kachirewa wani nye hon. Yen bia emphasize you said the uma and resource wakeka sebe ensem a eye enemu nsem bia wani nye hon. Nti enkomo bia obi ni wudi a wani nye hon. Eno na ye sexual harassment and asem ne fa sa nema.
Oh, elder say uni me din komo na ya asresem na me sere a of course manage home so manage home but ebeye ade a emma me get comfortable so it's most at times you know ebeye eniema a instead of me use to by 70 year example no ebeye eniema a emma me okay so typical example ebia ma me use maame because on the emi yaba
I'm say wa huna manne
na ma make ka ensem bi a eye edwabansem emma maybe you're very very uncomfortable. I say no okay can say Mr. Meninje ho it I will say yeah idea first emma maybe you're uncomfortable ewo enkomo na ye din no I say me ho to me I say o kan no me nya okay Meninje ho oh me ho I say me ka say
ma me samre mu ha nti adwamansem nkommo wani nye ho na bit me aye sexual harassment enye enkomo akabia
yeah Make me akansa meaning so other forms be wo hono a enye adwamansem ko meaning say your settings be wo hono so obetime didi enkomo bi a obi betime feel say wo harass no so but mostly no pa no de pa etimi appear in most environments no na adwamansem enkomo ana emo obi be feel say onini okay ka insem bi a ema na comfortable because besides no enkomo bi o no ma most enkomo bi say you can't politics cry na say when ni engine ho it's easy for us to ye big jai. So on the mention. And I say ye di NKOMMO bi normal NKOMMO bi kra so. Another thing ni obetimi no obi di NKOMMO kra won chen. Enye me na woni me di NKOMMO no. So say esan say ono a woni ni di NKOMMO no, na ni gi sa NKOMMO no hunti no. The moment it makes me uncomfortable, no, I can tell you, say you guys are harassing me in a way. So it's NKOMMO crowd and from the whole crowd, and I say, Ebia, sister name I mean they didn't come on chain. Omoya man intino. Omo can simbi, and I'm using the same example. Omo can drop by simbi. It makes me uncomfortable. I can tell you, say, I am being harassed in that way.
Right. That's it.
Yes.
I say, in your Christian Jemfe say it can also be an act. And the yebia, oh yeah, who stay sibichiramushi, I now paper pawaniachi, and it's anyam and yama be no. And the year call, right? Dennis, that's it. Mamma say, well, I didn't also be to me
Okay.
Sexual harassment.
Yes. For yes, for. So I like where D offer free and right. So sexual harassment, as yet diving into it now, we didn't say it has about 3 parts, right? To the best of my knowledge, about 3 parts. We have the verbal one and also written one, and then the physical one, and then the visual one, right? So D picked up on the verbal one and also maybe the written one, which can be in the form of text and any text or a note or whatever. But as Dee mentioned, conduct and behavior, Subine, yet formed or put into an unwelcomed and unwanted. Let's not forget that unwelcome and unwanted, inappropriate. Again, I can't find the true word for that. Indimu, and I say in sexual remarks. Say not just any form of incommodity or any form of written notes or any form of physical touch or visual aid, but sexual remarks. It says sexual, no one be share there. Again, it comes into with sexual harassment. As I said, physical advances. It could be in a workplace. It could be in a professional setting. It could be, in a social way. But usually, say, as Dee described a lot of the verbal ones, a visual ones is also there, right? Obi oha on kanche, on touch on ye, but then Ninkwa can communicate with the situation, as flirtatious eyes, right? And smiles and gestures too. Sorry, boys, mema, but also there may be who or baby who not what's age and I say, or yes, say now, or yeah, no, dumb kind of thing. That's visual stuff. That's you giving that's harassment. So why are you licking your lips while you're looking at me? Why you and that's how you look at the young lady. And that's the girls. You sitting there. There's nothing wrong with your lashes, and then you see him and you keep blinking and you keep blinking and you blowing kisses. That's also a form of sexual harassment. As long as said, Nipano is unwelcome sad behavior, no, and now unwanted and it's unwelcome. That's it. And also the visuals as the physical, as we saw, physical Nigeria could go into details. And I believe that as we will get to it. Unwanted touch, intentional touch. And then I know so we'll dig into culture too. The most common ones, example, as I don't know why I would obey my Ghanaian and some what to tune some. I never say me ham scratch me, right? And I say it me, don't tell me some. Ninja say a form of sexual harassment because I don't want it, I didn't ask for it, and you're doing it. Into any behavior, any act to be any remarks to be unwelcome and unwanted sexually towards another person, we can regard that as sexual harassment. And I think so you're Abidjan also to be back on yati say opinion me that same this year.
All right, my Mr. Why and I want so as na ye ba many about. Is that
Yes, and say Mamene Dennis Omaya Diplomatia Denasipa into may take a different approach. And they say, the reason why I am very important saying but say what sexual harassment and say culturally no, if maybe one no more, you find say agro and as be taking it seriously. na aha no de idea a very important. For example, say if you oba kwa kopa adwuma nyame ammoa no a na se wankohia obi a osuro nyame ebre ne ho ase na wo ntiase onma bi ho a na o demand bibi every saa oba ne ho ansa na odi ama no. So school na all pa kwa wotwa ade no ka admission no wunya no say trodo kwanda ho wonya admission no, but it is say wuye bibi ansa na bibi aye bibi enye sikasem o, but bia one dan bia wo man so man say bibi san. So those are some of the things that culturally no it's been as bad as it is, as wrong as it is, as disgusting as it is, no, culturally no ababe it's been normalized into no idea to say and shada emu and shada enshiki obia. Into imagine say what free in society no more sad no, even though enya appropriate but it's done no about say enra na say na me kan be about Ghana ni director be no work cancel no say I think say it was a radio show, but I was just reading the transcript of it. And what I say in all the years I know or headed some bank or whatever no or no baby will be and train and prada one quanko one harass or baby ada, you know. And he was saying, I thought, okay, great that you didn't do that. But even the fact say you feel say a new year cry accolade why I dare say boy and say no, that says there's a problem with it. Into no going from South society, from South culture into this culture, no, we have to understand what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. What is unacceptable? They say, "Oh, can be actually obia e man nya be ma pened nya be ma pened ye oba man so ye bi wo a word said mama ne Jen said kan kan no wasem a wo ka che no it may not be straight up say oh person me ne woda, but se mo nyina mo kai Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill omo you na tama ye no a some of the words or ban say or kan no or say oh me be maso, you know, I mean, what has that got to do with anything? Even just saying things that are inappropriate, and she doesn't need to know that. So what says and so to say, this will be our ban would dress in a certain way just to attract this particular person. But one thing I say, very important in sexual harassment, say the power differential, right? Said Mimi what to me was soon to know me why you be my baby. It's almost like a quid pro quo kind of thing. We be man is maybe be amount into no it is financial sexual harassment now. It can be broad in that sense. Say woman may be baby, even though you know said the Dennis Kai earlier no say it be you know unwelcome and you know and all those things. But the fact that me sre and I say major no does not mean say it be a me accepted the wo you know. And I have to explain that because another na one pair won't can. In the situation, say a year will boss, and a year will software, and a year was sorry penny, and a year or youth leader, and I say be a obia or authority over you know. That is where the power differential come into play. You want to mean can there be in channel? So you pretend say you are okay with it, but deep down you're not okay with it. In that sense, no, after a while, no, so a fool said no. Sebi nipa no bu me kwasia and also see when I say be to me no opposition is there to me a report is I did say no it can also create problems for the person into such a harassment you know in a broader term not to know we mu nyina aka ho me da say
wow yana nyame ase won ne wode ya besie yi na afi na ye bedom su konti we ye ya bie nani so ye kase bibi ye sa fanse oba ne obema nhia mu nkomodie ho atete ya ode tete ade a ode ha me amani nye ho ye bebu no sexual harassment na ma me sewa ebobo pe se ye baba be fa no mako nti wetumi abaka se ye were types of sexual harassment ma me brother ne sesu bio ye ka types no o ka ba kon se ma me sewa abobo bi nti we de fa ba kon na ma ye hunu nia ewo mu a e ma ye frɛ no harassment sexual.
Your elder me that say I think say sister Ebe we cry no she did mention big umbrella type of sexual harassment your business school no you share because business student you will fall under class back one you better your boss chose that topic where more say because over abontina we juma shall say juma corporate well also here because a one sem no endorse the sister ball back could be the achepa your friend quick proco. Na sa quick proco no. America there, me wouldn't say ensure common. Ebia omo ye kra na omo ye no in a nice way. Baby I come on pa baby I no ye free no. Esan say me what to me ye general manager, me ye CEO, me wo sika, me wo power, me wo authority over you nti no. Oba for interview no me say oh take my number yin share wo ebini restaurant here ntoa enkomo so. So obese o use to the power no na ode e take advantage of you. Nti enhyehyɛ yanke da hɔ a ɛwɔ sɛ anka me fa so na me de ema wo adwuma no me yusu authority bi a me wo power bi a me wo e de epese me nya bibi free wo hɔ no mo ansa na me de adwuma na yɛ den ama ade a ɛyɛ ha adwen na aha no ɛwɔ ha kra na ontɛn hu the other type which is the more of the hostile environment no and a hard dream with a but the quick proco there you chromo Ghana hopa a common and I don't think say mrano a day 80 me efa woman said it was a fano inti I know you one type of me person me can answer anybody say me prepare juma obeka me say and me use this example as one say yeah interview now oh the next round there you hotel. You know, it doesn't work like that. And I say, me what power intino, oh, give me this and send them a higher position. You know, this type of conversation, for any young people are right in Europe, any obia would say beyond what it is. And also people so taking advantage over you. Now who they acquire ourselves with the FSO. It's made the man be see elder.
All right, then it's here that's answer because me muso say me the na sexual harassment. Eba kuru have a proper fresh boy trese. Apia na maba na me di be 3 weeks be. Yere na me ma wa Ghana na. Me ko adwuma me start adwuma no na. The old training me no na we oba. Na atade a wo hye no no ewa we kata na chi enso esese wo koto no kire me bibi wo koto bi a na wa bie na chi honna ne tattoo bi da na chi hase na ashu na sabio ne panties are not at ho first one second one na third one say de me sitian me tiano ma ne bufu ye ema ye suspend ye friend say training no for days as I was one training me bi na am say fine nia odi yenti no ntен na pese mbusa nti de na oba no ye sexual harassment.
Really make my sister when
I think so on the surface, no, based on the wakano, yes, it could be because there was no need say ne tattoo I want a penchy, and there was no need say ne underwear anua etete honomo. Of course, sometimes no, atadena yeshe no. That is there, but say atwaso sa no. It tells me say, and the fact say waka say on your training no. For me, no, and no, solidify my say yes, because it was a way of her trying to get some sexual advances with you. Yes, that could be. So natari ne kogu ho accident dia. Ne twaso dia enonko. Into wunya akokodo di address ye no. The person could have said, sir, oh, I am so sorry. You know, next I walk to obey na tadi ye know say man tadi no so dem say no kroma say no. So nyame amwa one hwe ya te say enu gwase be kan bebre no de kwa sori kwa wan hwe kwa na enu gwase yaka. Because dem say no ye no kyekyerebo na say twa okuma so a na say twa wachi no te say minim de opese omo kyere. But say basa no dia it say o kan ho asem but o kan ye no so na oja ye no. For me that tells me. So the next level no should have been say it be human resources for bebem. But I will leave it at that for now.
All right. Now, I've been an hour by any Christian James up and Nika to any maybe many goes with as a Macata be now a Coswa until I'm a tiano. Dear sister, can be in a crack. Actually, you know what? Say, Nama, me was say, me was say, the uncle will take the mother up.
Yes.
But after an Nama bachelors and now me and some minimum system memory. The energy my four cannot say. a not the war patcher. Because Ed say, Uba approach that girl, no, not me buy your accept is so better me no you one. And after the idea not all yen, actually BB. Because we are no more can say, we didn't come will be active and say, yes, say, yen Africa for boy and home day. She was a Hispanic. Africa for me man a boy and home day. Na ya sa bako for sa ye ni munsi sam sa no de onya je obo so na kire se na kire se nti se de di atworo no ade no han o se
na free scholar
nti but nyame adom sa bere no ene sa bere no kura meka se na me de chen ne ba Kristo suma me yire ne me ma fi no mo nam kura so ba na obeyi wo pa chi akire me sa no ba ye beto aso pa me se wa one adia mo se o ba niema bi di aba verbal ne niema ne bi ba ko be na o peke na wa chere niema ewo mu a ma no ye harassment sexual.
Okay, so the this one serious one, as I mentioned earlier, no, is the physical aspect, right? And when I say the physical aspect, that we all know unwanted, intentional touching. You know, it could be, you know, even something small as a handshake, but the other party will hold your hand aside for so long. No, no, that is there, right? Leaning over intentionally. You know, I'm sitting here, you're back here. Just because I said, say, your cologne smells good or something, or you feel like it smells good now. You want to lean and rub your muscles, your chest on me, or the other way, a female leaning over a man, you know, with the chest a bit exposed, not naturally endowed things, you know, all over his chest, or giving somebody a hug, right? And then you squeeze the other part so tight to say you can even feel their heartbeat, like in you, within you, right? So that's one form of touching. Pinching. I have one gentleman, I use myself an example, one gentleman at church, power and you know, it's not anything. You don't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of it. You know, oh wow, she at church. And again, it was a church setting, right? Then pinching me, kaka. I didn't think anything of it, right? Because people used to pinch, trim in sahumi by my friends. But this particular one, it was kind of a different way of the pinching. You know, or pinching or a rubber, and then kaka was like coming towards here, right? Even in the back of my neck. No, I'm pinching the hair, kaka. It's inappropriate. I didn't ask for it. I don't want it. So, sir, can you please stop? That's physical harassment because my mania break at this time. Physically also, say Ujina baby, and then what I don't know if that's the correct word. Sister, her auntie, we can help me groping, if that's the right word, right? What be chew kakra, what be robo kakra. Oh, I'm sorry, but it keeps happening, right? This could be in a professional setting, also like gatherings, and even in public transportations, right? And when I was in high school, I'm a bus called Echo School. Now there was this particular gentleman that dresses so nicely. You wouldn't think that of him, right? Or bus cinema. Time I made a bus and name why I am to make name. And I had a uniform on, so American, uniform skirts, a little short. And intentionally, all the time, he wants to stand behind me intentionally. And you could feel his body heat. I can feel his body heat. This is sexual harassment because I didn't ask for it. And I intentionally, I'll kind of elbow him a little bit. Not knowing, so not papa be so right? Or you're undercover. What was happening every time, and I would get upset. It's you, baby, they be and I'm missing a bus in the until said one time, the guy actually stopped the bus, pulled him out, and cuffed him because I was 16, not even 16. So these kind of things, now if I'm within ourselves, as I said earlier, Uchia will be now, especially the man. Ghana is nothing. You're funny, you're okay. What it's in some kakra, it's unwanted, it's uncalled for, it's unwelcome. Don't do that. That's sexual harassment because it be you baby a bit escalating, and it has escalated because some of our young people here, they don't understand what is going on, right? And then touching also physically, somebody wearing something. Oh yeah, Bema, you don't have the right set. Oh, kwako fix it, that's not your job. Tell somebody else of the same sex to do that, because you see, okasawa touching the neck, that's also an on par a physical, a sexual harassment, and that's in a physical sense. Obiatina say, no, I should that so much. Now, oh, excuse me, what's not an answer? What are you doing on there? That's also a form of sexual harassment in a physical way. Ed Dawson, Auntie, I'm gonna pause here. I know Auntie Pumao has more or the ebe count. These are a few and I'm percent me list ma yet say. That's it for me.
All right, my mayor does say in chair on Mama says start to us I say. Munsem no Dawson now was Zimbi Subusa.
Dawson. Yes, the some of the verbal no. Say, I have four no tires idea no pa. Oh honey, baby doll, hunk, and all those things, some of those words, and that is not appropriate, it's not acceptable. So the chrono, it be casa no. And I won't say in the past, we have to understand, say, sexual harassment, this whole law came about, way back when you see here Ghana no Sarah na half on so etie first pan. So we compare Juma, this was we be this was way back when. And these laws are supposed to protect people in the workplace and in certain settings. Sebeya on feeling under pressure to do anything. And certain languages we be UCB, and I said jokes. They be a can't fire your culture and just say Ghana for your we make jokes, we do things, grow. But I no dear, so we don't have say as a one, you're careful. A growing now be because of a problem among. Say bia so no baby ye juma. That's and that's a baby be quiet juma. Watch as I share in a relationship very well. Now one can asem bia to say, oh, our tadi a fatal power. That's nice. It's an innocent, benign compliment. There's nothing wrong with it. Say Natalia no yefe. But watch the corner action. So what the reaction? So what can I say or look here certain way? I just say I don't know what kind of landi you have to stop. And because I say nibium. So only a baby admits a word, once again, the money here, the complexities of this topic, say, based on the relationship, based on the established, and all those things. We all have, I can't say we all have people, but hey, some of us are people we have certain conversations with, grow a certain way. Nipakono has permission to say certain things to me, I have permission to say certain things to that person, because sana yedi here. It's fine. There's no power differential. There's nothing. But we joke, we say things, we are okay with each other. That's established. Now, a new better than what's our established relationship. And in their walk, their warrior channel, and when they are debisano, like okay, go to the you go to the what's that say, work it out, or muscles not abo. In two I will say, oh wow, you see my muscles, well, that is not appropriate. Even though it sounds innocent, into the person me channel say, unwanted, say the but most importantly, based on a relationship with the person, making sexual jokes. Now say what we share YouTube and I say offending, what's offending? The TikTok video, it's something that's sexual. We say, oh, share, and I say anybody out in that person, share. That is, it's not appropriate. And when I walk, and when I will hear video, and when I will star in that video. But why are you asking me to look at something that could be sexual, or making sexual innuendos? Say, oh wow, and you know what? Why you can be a fast sexual? Ultimately, it's something sexual, but you just have to be very mindful of the relationship. Say that make us say obiaso nensa atwene nsa you don't have the right say we don't say nobody, right? Until even as far as you can even go as far as say if someone will be hugger, you always ask, can I hug you? Don't assume say just because Nipakono was some surface level relationship it could create problems because Nipakono could allege say now we all harass adwumem wo hwe no that's the problem. That's a problem. So there are certain things we on the more to say if that's what it takes, then that's what you do. If that's what it takes, that is what you do. But the bottom line is say, so who can be wo ye bibi wo so bibi mu wo di bibi kire no wo ni di nkomo bi wo phone so appropriate. I will tell you a case me who di akosi bi Dennis and Asibia elder will be hunu and you might even know it. It was in the news. Coach bia wakwakofa obi aba eba be training the students, no, a university coach on sexual harassment, sexual violence practices. Now when the mama no din come over phone so they developed a relationship. The thing is say there was no power differential. With the same level of Obano a consultant or Beman didn't know bim so on training in Korano a college students no how one be see a duo a woman a ma relationship. Now coach Obano a develop relationship abro sadi and so right now no Obano say Bemano a friend or any didn't come over phone so no who said now or tisa Bemano masturbate a phone no so Romu didn't come on. Obano so catch a Beman say or say what you're so shocked. So when to me and can say, Jai dear wo ye no, but who says Anna Bemano ye. Bemano say, Obano a man consent because Obano anka ain't no to him no, it was okay because your relationship with no Edward Juno, no, so obey me as I didn't ever phone so. In the long run, no, but Banana was suspended no. Said last month, this month, October, no, maybe dear said no. I mean, who say was sexual harassment involved or not? He misunderstood a relationship, no. He felt say it was okay to do that. Whatever happened between the two of them, no. Sexual harassment to me cases not the man here hard to prove. They say, one person saying so we me say. So they look at certain elements of it. Until here say be very mindful of the things we say, the things we do, and how we go about our duties. Bedroom any dream. The crab person
Amen, sister. Mr. Why the synonym said the Nama say where Casa, which you be no what it in them. Ye Sakura no I ever frigana. Ye young quella brimutin. We beat it in some part, dear child, so about chia ban with it in someone. Should I say opal? Which ya bear man with it in someone, should I say opal? And he said, dear children, no, and you would the back room has a ya. Yea, Ghana, the owns answer ye the diablo. I wrote the back room has say Mrawo Honwa, and when I say, yes, you wouldn't near Mako do beer. Ye bay ya, Empire Quattro, a sign. And I say, I'm you. A baba will be a in no office. Na, where you come and Frank Kazan. The Camia say, Memma, a word you am or no more this year. Men at the table who say, Anna. Nigeria, young Nigerian guy be Bema no hope. Who was a brandy who offer na Queen Biaso. Ampao, a dear chin, walk your master Bessana con or Jenny number, a dear chin, I was it say, or one in Io. Now, only me dim como the onuntina that make us a dark rubino, make a Jumanoa, Madame Iris spray, a woman who or was I say, we a mass spirit. I'm saying I may by my ha game. No bizarre so way in the honor, Name me person me end this and near man or mem. And my man one and say, me son near my near man commodity. And me kaisa menene to dim como your office na another or bar, or also your driver or bar or my comment be another me fee or my comment no anna. Obano away office on a catcher and say, or catcher and say, Papa, we dear. I want in Kenya and come away. Many or ye Christiania or ye strict or don't not me basis. Well, we're near ma or ya many day. Mempe. Until sometimes we are within in common. Me or no much said, they make us a branch ye between more or catch it, Nenigeno. Padia chin yan, and no yadia met me afa. Nanso so, would the owner when ya brana woba, young corners. Yen srenyame, not ye young hunia, you not question me, no be able to talk. Adienum, Christian Jeff was it that sexual harassment has to be intentional. The second one, not the first one, can you unintentionally harass somebody? The first question is second, it ties in. And then I walk up.
Yo, yeah, that's it. No question I will be saying. A very important question. Now, answer no any simple. There are two keywords that I think say may experience. I mean, we say HR for a share sexual harassment or professional environment. No, I did about call me who part say two keywords. I want to say, was it deliberate and was it repeated? So these are the two keywords. Maybe a cast story do a dream, but you know how far and you will continue. Maybe better change. So it was said, idea no a year deliberate. Now, meaning say deliberate ni intentional. No, I say yes, and then yes. It's you know, yes. But to me, I can say sexual harassment and sana ever qualified to be sexual harassment. No, it was say deliberate. So I was saying, "Benny, the whole pan." I'm also, I so let me tell some. Benny, the whole I may yes, I did. Machiano, I was saying, I need to let go the hand. No, my son, I'm saying, I'm saying, you know, a deliberate. Me need the whole minimum de me. And you one, and you two, and you three. Inti say what share one case of my witness. No, say a question no more able to questions at all. They will ask you specifics. And to say only specific date, time, any what happened in my case in here, they might so, but could be many to say no. Omo man go back. Omo they never open the case, but omo man go back. Emani acting normal. Emani pakrono. Eko so ye doya just to get documentation, date, time, what happened, date, time, what happened. Omo build the case now. Yedim say on October 29th, 2023, 10:50. Now the man say our cafeteria ho. Mudin NKOMMO or Hagil, we say. So they have the date, time, what happened. And to answer a question, I will say deliberate, I will say intentional. And the second part, and also I will say repeated. And you can say a back. And now name say oh strong. Name say back no say name how maybe a draw sister everywhere, but they always want to have multiple documentations just to back up their case. And Mamin Karena Minjama Abiyafor sister me keep points very important. You see a cromano and you say that sorry Anna sexual harassment abe big you are more. Said the sister kind before it was to say the Ghana you chromatiana, but they tested the law. So you chrome Ghana me to me uko internet crana. I don't think say between your case be a call viral and I say you're big a sexual harassment. Our company be a payout. Sikadudu be a account woman. But America hano ukwa ubenya list no be so ukwa jumama they orient you just to stay away from these things. Ghana, we haven't tested the law enough. Ebema yesuro ni atwe ye ho ofisa ni manema no.
Be Ghana no law no ne entity we dem kan na hobrasem corruption and endorse laws no be wo ho but obenya obi odi sika beto sem no be ba me kai atem bi asi we dem mama nka we ne ye ntwam passing ya na sister akasa because rams muzaza ope bibi e de aka na ni ba koro no okọ hospital we nye sexual harassment okọ hospital na say o appendix na o mama translate say os translate for some time ana afede nyame adomotu kwan da obeduru ha UK airport ana de no bai and right away mo de ne call hospital before say ni pa be kwa sign no na o ma ye no surgery na we say air rupture and o say ni obesi hospital no and o koye enti o de nsensem ni nyina koye ye koduru hospital okra o ka de kora ni ho o foda ni ho nti say hospital okra wonsi order and so a hospital or corner day brebia or card or assemble and ye uniform the floor ye you card the floor and the one o question saa na ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ yɛ man mu nti obi nya case a na yɛde sika fam na kyerɛ sɛ ayɛ biribi wɔ ma sister.
No, opinion na make an a trim to no yeman in trim.
Okay.
Yes.
And yet na ye be top okay in 7 minutes. Where and how does sexual harassment take place? As a mommy say what be okay, sorry, and ya can do. And here finding him you means I must away in Cajon. So say will be attempted rape and I sexual harassment. And I rape no than a baby. I mean 3 sisters.
So the laws now dealing with attempted rape, no? I mean, rape could fall under that, but rape is attempted rape, no, is more of a criminal nature. Yes, in sexual harassment, I mean, T case beer or be condemned for sexual harassment. It's usually civil suit. Attempted rape is criminal. Into the laws that dealing with those things, might be different, but that could also fall under. So in the year, Juman, I said, they could fall under. But rape, attempted rape, it's a much higher than say what can at Obiata idea once and say what can the figure once and say visa. So yeah.
Right.
Now it me see, I mean, social harassment, social settings, to be a nipa, it's a Bible cast nipa. Essential medium no. In this case, essential no. Social harassment to me. So any setting.
Indeed, to me see a sorry. I thought it be a sorry crano and a fase a Christopher so a honor Sabio Nima Hunu Bibri a password. D. Again, our count.
Aye, baby, I've been in the back when she be on. Said home come about home quiet. Sexual harassment is to be about. It's a true. It's we see social settings, baby. That baby, it is here New York City, pan, yeah, baby. It's TBC pan. I think some of say what kind. Public transportation, subway stations on trains in mono, and the buses mono. Because I don't pa okra juma nipa the doors so it was crowded, right? And amophobia I share omabo mutimu pose intentionally and when I be your currency free. Enti yes I nipa we have to be aware of our surroundings. It's a train your buses those places it we see sorry a whole crowd can you say KC but it we see more and I face also schools any in Jumemu, those places in ATMC. That's it.
All right. We the Akama symbiosis that kind of a mammy say what the Nibia. Your sister be net if you will come say Ghana. Now, or a polytechnic student. And now, or pro na yema. Until you say, Muti Ghana to say, I must say, bosso. Say Nipano, what was sana, driver no quick a crown no break and let us be as na se akwa bi gina na chi nti ade no ko se ni nyina sister no what's one who said to say the mama say work here bi afi wode ne nsa kan na chi anata ade na fo in the public transport trot room be ma no ta na chi sa ama se bi o ne ho aye yegu oba na ta ade ma na fo di wode ne nsa kan sa no ni wo hwe no ni wo hwe wana sum what trot room ma one is so about no member wonu mu say ade na atro nti wo do nza ka ho nti wo obia witness say na sie ne member no mu na bo abrante no wo ho ka no gyina ma wo mu si fom sister no ba fie na wo sign e be change na tade answer wa ko school nti ade a e koso na tere bi e bi taking it to the extremes to say this situation ade ba akono nko anti public transport mu but yesre nyame se won hu ye mobo mese na ebre no aso angasa won ti mma menye abadwafo nsem ekato na ye beko na ye ba nti me mama sa she free mama say wa di na sister
okay, that's it. I think that this topic, we're going to take more weeks to dive into it because we need to open it up more. since then you're ending, and I just wanted to put this out there. Say, in our workplaces, there be laws, govern more, deal more harshly with something as sexual harassment. Now, cannot be. Nipa, can your culture, your settings, as Ghanaians and as Africans, your chocolate back kakra. Baby, I'm ranche then in an cover to say, said the Eka said, Baku in a church setting. A honor the near buya near buso. But I also saw the echo pa. It could be as easy na 1-2 to say, you can say, hey, when you're formal, what you do, hey, what's your share, why you're back. Those things happened. Hey, what are they not draw body? These are harassing panel. For a minute, or be like it, there's one person or Nani Jehua until say a brand and switch comments towards somebody else. And then Ojai so beto die who amano, no de toma or baffle Friday, and then it turned to be say, harassing me. Meanwhile, when the comments were coming, who accept say who welcome here. But now it's not coming towards anymore. The deal is not coming to you anymore. No. You are calling out for sexual harassment. It's a sorry setting and saying a Christian for now. And Brano should then remu ube getting into deeper trouble. No, your boy niguso say it's okay. Obia ye kesia Germany nyane kesia nonko. Wa former man phone nonko. Neta day shorter. Speak to the mother. Speak to me papa. No now ko tria ko former na so ko taking his shirt. And I say let's be mindful because you're not going to jail and I say be uncafo and I say yengu any mas into your jano fala sa na airposo compared to professional settings obeko HR hona and so you might even get suspended or lose your job. See, mama you need call a sorry setting. I know as time goes on, we go into more of this sexual harassment and the things that comes with it. Until penny make the money they see her. Thank you.
All right. D now sister.
Yo, that's it. You tear for the actual for you, I say. Send a share topic, I see. Said my mechanic, you be domo a sukoa creature more. Tiene, your definition, you can't sexual harassment now to take out the ebony. Yentia say, unwelcome situation be or any type of settings be no. You will see who say, you betray who every sa any man home. I face so. You would the bread away mu and I say ye communities mu and I say churches nay those things in the schools and yeah am I you su eno emfa enkobusa near maybe in free or more share ye yasi ho na ye yakwe quid pro quo environment nibi. I face so you say ye encourage hostile environment. Ewo baby ye was especially sorry said mommy Eddie can Adia, you feel say a bear lady ako sa baby sado yen twi ye ho emfri ho. Mami edikan abosun ti mimi kan ho pi emra na wo baby just say yen na ye adwe say ye bu ye ni eguso ba emra no wo ho even though say a sorry settings kra na emra no e wo ho e bu ye ni eguso but the fact say yakwa sorry you could say nyame asem ntin ya adwin na eye say emra no ema ho emra no ba ho nti o say careful say the be ya yen fa ye ho koye eniem bia emra no be di yen cause emra no di wa kan say pastor ni ho elder ni ho no aba abejunti yesu ade topic where topic I was say funny very serious need to me fa abefri mu na baby bia ye be ko bia no ye betimi ahwe ye ho so ye kamasa.
Amen. Dear, that was sister.
Yo, this same rule applies everywhere. Shewanu ye, wanokasa. But when you buy, wason nkoma 80 no, you're careful with him. The way I would say express with him, so the ability to regulate with him. When manintiminya dwuma, to say ye Christopher, and no na twa bibia utimi di bibia so. Into no, but if the fact say obia ya wagati away with no doesn't mean say so to me you're held to a higher standard, whether it's by our words or by say visual be children, so we can be children say all those things. We are held to a higher standard until ya will be no you Christian na meant to take advantage of the people that are less privileged than you. Okay.
All right, sister. Yeah, that's it. Now, you Christian Jemfide, I said beside we say, Ohian Sonsonia that monato a rape. and sexual harassment in terms of na rape ne de physical say obi share da yero na wayo sexual harassment no be ebitumi aye afa no mienu nyina but metumi aka say rape nso so be ya afa no mienu nyina Kristo Yesu kan say o hwe oba na okon do no anti obetumi a rape obi wo akoma na enye physical nyame wonhu ye mobo say yen rape nkrofo ewo ya akoma mu senia ye ka no ame ya dom a ya hye sa sexual harassment nkomodi yi ye bewuram ne ye hu niema betumi de abeto niema ye betumi asi ho kwan say de step 2 fu sesi ese ye hwe ye ne ye hwe ya no yi no na entumi amfa ya nkosa atebe no na ya so efiri ho enna de ye sire nyame se na dom no enka ye ho na ye bie nani so yi no ye betumi so wasem bisa bia obetumi e de asende ye na yetumi e di ho nkomo na ya nyame no nyam e wo saa sexual harassment topic ya share asi every year to upon ye be see interest na ma me se wa bom paye amai
so we don't play we jawo so we don't say no aye and play aye kan di and asen kan di by your privilege I demand and it's me about the shame and it's me the day come the so ye nkoma ye di you asking for the bra now I is something a bit bra near be a boy bra if in our words we hurt somebody now we offended somebody we asking for what the chair my this swing in you bit me the actual other people now I say even if something like that happened to them in the past and if somebody is thinking about doing these things I'm a change of heart now more so about on the gray but that was it so it's here until we meet again next week but that was it let's so share so what boy your home or what do you think amen
odonkomo na waje so
Odonko
ane abusiafo yakramo